Hi everyone, this is Susie. So today we're going to be making a chocolate chip banana nut bread, and these are the ingredients we'll be using. I have a couple bananas, unsweetened soy milk, apple cider vinegar, salt, coconut oil, baking powder, sugar, nutmeg, cinnamon, walnuts, chocolate chip, all-purpose whole wheat pastry flour, vanilla, and baking soda. So let's get started. So to our 1 1/4 cups of flour, I'm going to add about a half a teaspoon of cinnamon, a pinch of salt, a couple dashes of nutmeg, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and 1 teaspoon of baking soda. We're going to give this a little stir and we're going to set it aside. So now we're going to prepare our vegan buttermilk, which is half a cup of, I have unsweetened soy milk, and 1 1/2 teaspoons of apple cider vinegar. And we're just going to give this a stir. And the other thing is, if you're going to be using coconut oil, you can use coconut oil or you can use vegetable oil. But if you're going to use coconut oil, you want all your ingredients to be room temperature. So this is your milk, bananas, flour, whatever you have that you're going to be cooking with or baking with, you want that to be room temperature, okay? And as you can see, this like immediately starts getting thick. And also, what was I going to say? Oh, you can go ahead and add, like after I add my apple cider vinegar, sometimes I just go ahead and add about a teaspoon of the vanilla and just stir that in there. We're going to set that aside. So now I have my 2 bananas, and what I do is, and I'm going to mash them with a fork, and this is going to be our mixing bowl. And what I do is, once my bananas are ripe, if I'm not going to use them right away, I'll just go ahead and put them in my fridge. And even though the outside, the skin is going to turn dark, the inside is still, it'll last for 3-4 days or so, even a little more. Your bananas are still going to be good to go, okay? But at least they won't be getting more and more ripe if you leave them outside versus if you put them in the fridge. So I also keep my flour in the freezer in case you haven't seen the video where I show you that, because it'll last a long time if you keep it in the freezer. And what I do is I just take it out, I measure what I'm going to use, I leave it outside, and like I say, I leave it for at least an hour so that it becomes room temperature, and that way my coconut oil will not solidify when it touches something cold, because if it does, it'll become solid and then it's going to be a total mess. Trust me, I've done it. So now we're going to add half a cup of vegan cane sugar. You can give that a stir. And now I'm going to add my milk that I mixed in with the apple cider vinegar. And I measured 1/4 of a cup of the coconut oil. I'm just going to give this a quick stir. And at this point, I'm just going to go ahead and add all my dry ingredients, and I'll just dump it in. And you just fold it in. And we're going to prepare our, our oven at 350. And remember to butter your dish. Okay, and at this point, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of mini chocolate chips and 2 tablespoons of chopped walnuts. And I'm just going to stir that in, okay? These are the chocolate chips that I use. You can use the mini or you can use the regular ones. And also, if you don't add the chocolate chips, you might want to taste it for sweetness, because usually when I add the chocolate chips, I'll add less sugar than when I don't, if you know what I mean. That way it's sweet enough. So we're just going to mix that in. And if for some reason your batter is too dry, you can just go ahead and add maybe 1/4 of a cup or so of your milk. And also, if you're using sweetened milk, check before you add your sugar, because that is obviously going to matter if your milk is sweetened or unsweetened, okay? So that way your batter is not super sweet. And then you just mix it in. And this is what it looks like. You see? So now I'm just going to grab a little bit of the earth balance and some paper towel, and I'm just going to butter my dish. So now I'm just going to pour in my batter. And if you've never baked with apple cider vinegar before, don't be afraid, because I didn't do it for a while because I was like, oh my god, it's going to taste like apple cider vinegar. It does not taste like apple cider vinegar. You will not taste it. So don't, as long as you don't put like a whole bunch of it, you know, the 1.5 teaspoons is perfect for this amount. So you will not taste the apple cider vinegar. It's just going to make your bread like really fluffy. So because you're not putting any eggs in there, that is what it will do, but it won't taste like it, okay? And this is a 9 by 6 by 2, just so you know, okay? So I'm going to bake this, like I said, at 350 for about 45 minutes. That's how long it takes in my oven. You check, you know, at about 30 minutes, 35, and see when it's done. Once it's done, what I like to do is I like to turn off the oven, and I keep it in there for another 10 minutes with the oven turned off, because to me that just, what it does, it guarantees that the bread doesn't sink in the middle. It stays nice and firm and like fluffy and plump. So that's what I like to do, okay? So that's just a little tip for you guys. And what I like about this recipe is that it tastes exactly like the banana bread that I used to make back in the day, with the eggs and the butter and stuff like that. So if you're looking for a recipe that doesn't have any like flax seeds and all those things, that might give it might change the flavor or the texture of your bread. If you want to take this for like a family gathering and they're not vegans, you know, so they want something that tastes like the real thing, you know, or the things that they're used to, this is like an awesome recipe. It tastes just like it. It's fluffy, it's moist, it's delicious. It doesn't taste weird, doesn't taste vegan or anything like that. So yeah, so just keep that in mind. And just so you know, this is the brand that I use for my vegan cane sugar. This is a light brown one, but I use the regular one also. And when I said that that the bread doesn't taste vegan, I didn't mean that in a bad way. I hope you guys know that, okay? It's just that I know some things you can taste and you're like, oh, it tastes a little different, you know, or some people might detect like a, you know, a slight texture or a flavor or something. This one you cannot. So that's what I meant by it, okay? Okay, you guys, so here you have it. So I baked it for 45 minutes, turned off the oven, and left it in there for another 10 minutes. And that way you see that it doesn't sink from the middle, okay? Okay, so let's give this a try. Oh my goodness. Ah, can't wait. Oh yeah, baby. This is delicious. It's so moist. Oh my goodness. It is perfect. Perfect. So if you guys have any questions, please let me know. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.